has already sent me their part 2 maths for checking. I just wanted to show the class for your benefit what you will get back if you send me a draft on Friday when it's due, so it'll be easy for you. So it'll be easy for you to check if you have mistakes in your maths. So this is only really vital if you're going to make an error. If your maths is perfectly fine, then you have nothing to worry about. All your numbers will match mine, all right? When you send your draft, you're going to get something like this on the right back in regard to the maths. I'm going to type out an email, comments, feedback about the written section, but the maths I handle with a spreadsheet, all right? So if you look at this very carefully, this top bit is blank because that was to help me develop the spreadsheet. But you can see here, I have a sphere. How many spheres? 1. The radius was 4.72. And then it calculates your surface area and the volume of that individual piece. And can you see how that relates to the student? The top of their person was a sphere. What's next? That's a pyramid. Rectangular based pyramid. Okay, so all I do is I look at your, that's why you have an angled 3D diagram of it. I look at your picture and then I calculate. I use the spreadsheet to calculate what it should be and you try to match it. All right? So can you see how that works? It's doing all the shapes individually. The only thing that I don't do individually is, can you see how this person had shoulders? There were 2 triangular prisms there. They're exactly the same, so I just doubled it here. So that doubling will be doubled over there, all right? So what you see in this screenshot of the marking that I gave this student was I found the surface area of every piece, I found the volume of every piece, and then I don't know if you've ever encountered the term gross. If I'm talking the gross profit of a business, that's how much money or it's otherwise known as revenue, that's how much money you're just making. But let's say you're a restaurant like McDonald's or something. Doesn't it cost you money to be able to sell the burgers and fries that you're selling? You need to buy that stuff in, don't you? So the net profit is how much money you made minus the cost of making that money in the first place, all right? So what you'll see at the top here, that's the gross surface area. That's the total surface area of all the pieces. And this is the gross volume. That's the only volume you need to work out. But why is there a gross surface area and a net surface area? Well, if I look here, did you want to explain?
Oh yeah,
why?
Sure. It's because there's pieces connecting, so they're touching each
Yes.
other, so therefore
So
wouldn't be on the outside.
yeah, we're modeling a realistic scenario. Your baby is exposed to heat. The underarm here, where the shoulder is touching the body, do you agree that's going to be a square? Where they're touching, that's not exposed. So I take that off. And I take it off. How many times? You tell me. You're meant to be, how many times would I take it off? Twice. But also, is there another square on the other side? So how many times would I take that off? 4 times. Can you see in my diagram here, have I drawn little arrows from this number here to the 2 shoulder joints? How many times did I subtract that? 4. Okay? So this diagram and these arrows there are justification of where I think there should be joints accounted for. Why do you think there's no arrow from the bottom of the sphere to the top of the pyramid?
Tiny point.
It's a point location. You're not going to subtract anything, okay? So you have to take this as sort of like it's almost like a warning. If all your maths is perfectly correct, then everything is fine. All your numbers are going to match mine. But if you've made errors, you need to set your maths out in a way so you can find the mistake easily. So every year, I do a similar assignment in year 11, and what they do is they work out the surface area of a piece, like the rectangular based pyramid, and then they take off the bottom of it or something in the calculation of that individual piece. What I'm trying to encourage you to do is just find the total gross surface area, find the gross volume, and then here you can see in red, do the taking off separately, because then you can just match. If you take off the the subtracted parts on each section, it's going to be hard for you to track. It's going to be hard for you to find your mistake, okay? If you remove the joint errors for each individual piece, it's going to be hard for you to track down where you went wrong. The only maths checking you'll be getting is this, because this takes long enough anyway for me to do. If you haven't done the calculations as I've guided just now, then you're going to need to find where you went wrong, all right? Any questions about that? So I'll upload that.